I'm very excited. You hear this a lot from me, but I'm very excited all the time. But I'm very excited for this week's guest, my good friend Jonny Knowles, who is a singer, songwriter, producer. He's got the most raw, emotional voice ever. I love him to bits. So please put your hands together at home for Jonny Knowles. Hey Jonny, how's it going?
Hello.
Hello, look at your nice cup of tea.
I've got my tea. It's a green tea, and I couldn't be more. Yeah, I'm very 2021 right now.
I'm loving it. You got your slippers on too.
I've got my sandals on. I was actually going to try and like hide the fact that I was wearing shorts, but now I've just fully embraced.
Flashed us a
It's a lovely day. I'm sun-kissed and the legs are out, so there we are.
Yeah, I'm loving the little sunshine coming through. You look super comfy.
I have made this so it looks picturesque for everyone watching, and I hope it's working.
I think it's working. Got the plant back
Good.
there.
Yeah, it's actually dying. It's if not already dead.
Well,
But there we are.
hey, there we go. We're not talking about plants today, though, are we? We're going to be talking about your music. So let's get to that.
Yes.
So you're based in London at the moment.
Yes.
You know, is that the place to be for a songwriter, do you reckon, or does it not matter?
I think that being in London gives me, I feel like I'm closer to where I want to get to, if that makes sense. Because I grew up in a village. And if I was still there now, I don't think I'd be making the music that I'm making now. Although all the music I make anyway is so much about growing up in a village, falling in love as a teenager, taking drugs and all of the naughty things that you're not supposed to do. I feel like being in London now, again, it just feels like I'm closer to where I need to be. And it is a little bit inspirational, but not as much as I thought it would be, to be fair. But like living here and looking back at where I used to live and the life I used to have, I think if I didn't live in London, my music would be completely different.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't think it would be about if I stayed where I was, then God knows what I'd be writing about if I was even writing at all. To be fair, so I think living in London is a positive for sure. But yeah, it's very busy. And I'm not even the biggest fan of London, to be fair, but I've just kind of stayed here because, like I said, it's motivational. Like, I think really motivational. But yeah, I'm not going anywhere just yet, I don't think.
Cool. Good. So you're based in London for now, which is grand.
Yeah,
Obviously, that doesn't matter for the people listening to music. You can listen to them. You can listen to
absolutely. Worldwide,
worldwide. Check
if you please.
Well, they will please after they hear you, I'm sure. So we'll get to
Yeah,
that
hopefully.
a bit later. But have you always been a songwriter, Johnny, or have you been doing other things in your life?
So I always wanted to be an actor,
Hmm.
and I grew up in my parents are opera singers, and they used to be fairly famous back in the day. Like opera used to be like a huge, like really really big when I was growing up, and it was it's quite accessible to everyone. It's not so much anymore, but I mean, I'm just putting two and two together. It must be in the genes somehow. Like both my brothers write music. But I actually started off rapping. So I was the village MC. And I was awful, absolutely dreadful. However, I used to love it. And like when I was growing up, grime it was really exciting back then, and it's died down now. But like when I was growing up, there was just so many artists popping up, and I was obsessed, like really, really, truly obsessed with bars and listening to people create like these incredible lyrics. Oh, I don't know, it was nuts. And I almost, because I went to college and studied acting,
Yeah.
and I almost quit. And I remember I said to my dad, I almost begged him to let me quit because I tried to assure him that I was going to make it as an MC. Thank God, I don't know what happened. I got a call because they asked me if I was coming back, and I just said yes. And I think if I didn't say yes, I don't know where I'd be right now. But yeah, I love rap, and I did that probably until I was about 20, and I did it throughout university, but I wasn't taking it seriously. And then I started singing more, and then I realized, what the fuck have I been doing for the past however long? Like, I can sing to a good enough standard. And then I started producing my own stuff on a Mac, which is down there. I recorded all the vocals on the Mac, on the mic that's like built in.
Oh, cool.
I made some really ridiculous songs. But yeah, it all started off me wanting to be a rapper.
Wow.
Which is just is crazy. And I'd love, like, and the music that I've got coming up, there is a little bit of that. There is a little bit of that still, because I do love it. And but yeah, it's yeah, there you go.
Well, actually, the first kind of music I heard from you was kind of spoken wordy, rappy, and then I heard you singing more. So yeah, I can hear a bit of that in there, which is interesting that you tell me, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's I think it's like the more that I think producing your own stuff, it really does allow, without sounding cringy, it just allows you to do whatever you want and whenever you want.
Yeah. And
like, you just have everything at your fingertips. So I will be sitting there and I'll make, I try and make music every day, but back then I'd make these beats and whatever, and the first thing I think of is trying to rap to them.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that you just just give it a go. Like, back then I was really, really obsessed with it, and then I kind of, as I said, it died down. But now I'm more willing to give it a go. And I don't sound like a grime artist, for example, but I have found like a way to do it that fits who I am as an artist now.
Nice.
So yeah, just give it a go. If you want to rap, just rap. Simple as that. There you go.
I always think I'm a good rapper, and then I start rapping and I might record something. I'm like, that's rubbish, Karina. That's like, no way.
It happens. It happens most days, actually, to be fair. But yeah, it's I do love it. I do love it. And I listen to it all the time. It's actually I mainly listen to rap, like of various forms. Like, I love shit. I love shit music. I love shit rap. There's an Instagram page called B-Tech Grime. It's just all these people who are genuinely quite like, they're just giving it a go and they're not very good.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it all. I just love the way that people, like, I love listening to how people put words together. And you don't really get that with singing and kind of singer-songwriter stuff, because it's a little bit more meticulous. And yeah, love it. Absolutely love it.
And do you freestyle as well, or do you write and then rap the words?
Oh, I do when I'm either drunk or on drugs.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing to do, actually. If I've divulged in some not very nice things in an evening, I will. I just have to. I talk a lot anyway. The next thing to do is rap, because you need to talk faster for longer. So yeah, no, I'm a fan of the freestyle, to be fair.
Amazing. So we're not going to get a freestyle from you now, then, if you're only...
Oh, absolutely not. No way. No way in hell. No way.
I thought I'd ask. Don't ask.
Oh, no. Maybe one day. Maybe afterwards.
Yeah. Nice. And you've been... so this year you've put out an EP called Smile.
Yes.
I think it was January, right?
Yes, it was... God. 27th. I said the date so many times building up to it, I've forgotten now. Yeah, I did. It was it was 5 tracks. And basically it was not because I think a lot of people make EPs now with like a very firm idea of what they want them to be, and it's like a good way of, it's a smaller album. It's a good way of putting a concept together and getting it down and recording it and whatever.
Yeah.
But I kind of had all these songs, that I'd made last year, and I genuinely have not been taking it that seriously. Like I go through these waves. Batteries. Yeah, I go through these waves of thinking I'm going to give it a go now, and I'm going to do this, and it never happens. And then all of a sudden, I found that I had these 5 songs that I really loved, and they kind of made sense. And then one of them was called Smile. And I thought, in a year where no one smiled, we may as well just call it that. And yeah, I put it together. And it got, one of the songs got played on BBC Introducing. Nice. And this is not me brushing my shoulders. I was shocked, absolutely shocked. And I submitted it, and I got an email, and my friend was here, or one of the artists that I work with. I got this email, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was like spam, and it was like, we've just played your song on the radio. And I just went fucking crazy. I was like, what? Yes! And I just started screaming. I went straight on Instagram. I was like, what the fuck? And it was that moment where I was like, okay, it was good enough to be played on the radio. And there are so many songs that are good enough to get played on the radio that aren't. But still, I was like, okay. And then it got played again the next week. I was like, nice. Fuck. and then another one got played again. And I was like, I cannot believe that's happened. So like, if you make music, just put it out there, because you actually just don't know. And like, I wouldn't have put it out. I don't know. I just felt like it was a year where I couldn't really express myself for various reasons. And those were 5 songs where I really did, and it's kind of rare for me to do that. It's rare for me to make a song and genuinely think, oh, that really reflects who I am, or that represents who I am. Yeah. It's difficult. Like, I'm sure everyone finds that. So yeah, Smile. Go and have a look. It's on all streaming platforms.
Plug.
Plug it away. Yeah, go.
Totally. No, I was listening to it again before this actually, and it just, as I said at the beginning, your voice is just so raw and so emotional, and there's lots of silence, especially at the beginning of the EP when you play it from the start, and just that silence really adds to that emotional journey that you take us on. Yeah, so it's really
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was weird, because it goes from that to then really like pop.
Yeah.
And I think that was like difficult, because I do love making cheesy pop songs. And then there is all this other real kind of descriptive, weird music that I make, which I also love. And I battled for a long time, kind of thinking to myself, which one represents me best. And then again, just through making so much music, good and bad, mainly bad, I've realized it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. If you want to make a song where the lyrics are so like a nursery rhyme, but it sounds sick, then that's fine. And then if you want to like delve into the fucking dictionary and pull out all these mad words and rhyme schemes and whatever, and put that into a song, then just do it. And I think that's why it was. Yeah, I deliberately I set the songs out like that so we got happier. But then the feedback that I got, it was like, a lot of people just thought it was too slow, but fuck them. So it's fine. We move.
Exactly. And what would you say, in your own opinion, what makes a good song?
Oh, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, to be asked that question, to be fair. Lots of things.
Yeah.
Again, the more and more that I listen to music, the more and more that I make songs, it's various things. Sometimes it really can just be as good as little as a good hook. Nothing else matters. Especially in pop music, that's all it is. Yeah. The verses are they're just little bits, just so you don't hear the chorus on repeat for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
A good voice is always nice, but also a bad voice singing lovely lyrics is also nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that I've kind of come to realize is like, you do not have to be, you know, a fucking professional singer to make unreal music. Like, I've heard so much insanely good music from voices that you wouldn't think, you know, that they wouldn't pass the singing test. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of things, but just a good melody and just emotion. And also, you know when people are faking it. So if I listen to something and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was the realest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Like, I just can't, like, it's that. I want to hear the person. I don't want to hear them being someone else, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that, all those things, plus more.
Yeah. I think it's you can't just always be one element sometimes, because it bring all of those things together, and it does make a really amazing song. So
yeah, absolutely. And like, you know, I think I always tell people this, just as an opinion, that you can have, it's like mixing. So you can have the best song in the world and it's mixed really badly.
Yeah.
It's still the best song in the world. You can have the worst song in the world, but it's mixed by a Grammy award-winning mix engineer. Still the worst song in the world. So like, there's all these things that are conflicting when you're making songs, and it really is just about emotion, your voice, good lyrics, or bad lyrics. You know, I can't even continue. This is so many. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I should probably take my own advice as well sometimes, but there we are.
It's so difficult to take our own advice, though.
I know. But yeah.
And do you prefer songwriting, or do you like more producing with other people, other artists, or?
It depends, really. I think it depends on what the song is, because I do, as I said, I really do love making pop music, like, and it's easier to make, if I'm honest. And with my own stuff, it's just about the songwriting, I feel. Like, I actually just ease off on mixing and production and stuff on it, because that's not the main point, especially for me as an artist. I need to show me as an artist, not me as a producer.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But yeah, the songwriting stuff, because I've kind of dipped into other people's songs that I've worked with. So like, I've helped them, or not helped them, but added certain lyrics and taken them away, like whilst I've been recording them. And I do love that process, like I really do. And it is something that I'd like to do more often. But yeah, all of them, I say all of them. I love songwriting and production as much as each other, I reckon. Yeah.
No, that's a good answer. And you're working on another project at the moment, aren't you? This little project that you were telling me about earlier. So
yes.
15 tracks or something?
Yeah, so at the moment it's going to be about 15 songs. As yet untitled, so haven't figured that out yet, because it's still being worked on. But yeah, so it's quite a big one, really. I wouldn't say it's like, this is what everything has been building up to, this is it, this is Jonny Knowles. It's not that. But it's been a really rough few years. And I was in therapy for a little while. And I've got all of these clips, because I had to record them all. So I've got all of these clips saved on my phone from these therapy sessions with a very well-spoken, gorgeous man who was my therapist, called Patrick.
Nice.
And yeah, it sounds like two very posh people just talking to each other over and over again. It probably is quite jarring, but either way, I've got all these clips, and I really wanted to use them. And I was thinking, like, I can use them in a song or whatever. But now I've made this entire thing kind of based around them. And it really is all to do with mental health, bad mental health, anxiety, people, and also a lot about growing up in a village and taking loads of drugs and getting up to no good. And like those two things really do correspond when I really think about it. Like the reason for the anxiety is probably because of all those times. But I've basically got about 10 other people who are going to be on it. Mm-hmm. And they're all people from my life. So my dad is going to sing some like operatic notes, and I'm going to flip it into a sample and then make a song out of that. I've got a couple of rappers on there who I used to be friends with back in the day, who I kind of met in that time of my life. I've got all the boys from the village, so I've got a really solid group of friends who I used to live with. I'm going to get them to do some chants and things. I've spoken to some ex-girlfriends and got them to send me voice notes, and I've put them into songs. I want it to just be literally, this is absolutely everything in my life compiled into one. Not that it's very interesting, but I think it's important. And I do want to make music that people go, fucking hell, like I felt like that as well.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of touched on it with Smile. But yeah, and also everything is being made organically. So all the sounds that you hear in the project are all that I like. This teacup has been used so many times. This table has been used. If I record any sounds electronically, I record them back out into the mic, so you get the sound of the room. It's all very poncy, but it has like created this fucking atmosphere, which is really nice. But yeah, it's just a lot of work, and like it's exciting for me, and it's like something to get my teeth stuck into. But it's taking a while to get everything together. But I don't want to call it an album, because I feel like there's a lot of pressure when it comes down to that. And it's like, this is my debut album. Yeah. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be like, this is something I've wanted to make for a while. It's very, very, very fucking specific. It's about my life up until a certain point, and it's about my life coping with various anxiety issues and whatever. But yeah, coming soon. Don't know when, but a lot of the songs are done. It's just about getting the other people in to record, which has just been really, really hard. But yeah, I'm very happy making it. So I hope other people are happy listening to it when it's out.
It sounds amazing. Just you right. I'm going to give you my money now. I haven't even heard it.
I wouldn't say that just yet. It's very clumsy. Yeah, it's like very clumsy, very clanky. And I think I've kind of done it so there's no room for error. There is a lot of room for error, because when you're making everything like, you know, if I'm making a drum with a table, I've deliberately done it. So I've made it in a way that I can defend myself if people are like, oh, that sounds a bit weird. I'm like, yeah, well, it was a fucking table. So yeah. Anyway.
Cool. And you've gonna share a song with us.
I am.
Well, which is great.
Yeah.
So let's hear the song, and then you can tell us what it's about if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's called I've Got a Song in Mind. Is that right?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Cool. Right. Well, let's hear this song then. If you want to get yourself ready, we'll hear from Jonny Knowles, and this is called I've Got a Song in Mind.
I've got a song in mind. I sing it all the time. I never did hit the notes, but I still call it mine. I've got a voice I hear. It's holding back the fear. It never hurts my head. Just tells me someone's near. I've got a hand I feel. It fights to close the deal. It never holds too tight. Just reminds me this is real. I've got a wish unwished. It started with a kiss. It never broke my heart. Just made me want to live.
Those environments, recognising what you can learn. Is that cool? So this one's a bit like an exploration for you. Yeah. Good. Okay.
So come out wherever you are. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. Are you out there forever, for forever? It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. You are everywhere and everyone, and it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright. I know you're out there, I feel you, the real you, and it's alright, 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 it's alright for forever. It's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright.
Oh, wow. If anyone out there does not have the tissues by now, I'm be surprised. That was
no.
super emotional. Wow. Literally, your performance of it is the thing, and then the build-up that you create there, that's just like builds up the emotion in you when you're listening. It's
Good. Well, you are the first person to hear that so far.
oh, amazing. I feel
There you are, and everyone watching. There you go.
wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's. It gets me as well, but the only reason why is just it's not like it's not like brush off my shoulder. It's just tough. Like making these songs has like really, really, really been like it's been tough. It's just been tough. It like bringing back all of these things, like even listening to the therapy sessions and stuff. It was a fucking horrible time. Like it just was. It's a really shit time. And like bringing it all back up and kind of trying to write songs about that time in the future. It is weird, but it's all still relevant. Like I'm by no way not at all better, than I was. In many ways, I'm worse. So like, yeah, it's tough. I think I do actually kind of shed a tear on the actual song, but I'm glad that you felt something.
You'd be like stone-hearted to not feel anything watching and listening. So, yeah, we can see like you just in the way that you perform it. Even it's a painful time that you're singing about, and yeah,
absolutely. And I know it's not like it's just so common now, and I think a lot of people are making songs about it, and I genuinely feel like it would be a waste of my time if I didn't at least try, even if I just released these therapy sessions as like, and they're not even, it's nothing new. It's just CBT and whatever. But I feel like I just wasted my time if I didn't try and put them into something. And that song in particular is just quite, it's just about voices in your head, and like I have so many voices in my head all the time. Not bad ones, just like fucking irritating, and just ones that make me not do things that I want to do. And that is something that I think we've all felt now since the start of these lockdowns. And I kind of like, I feel like we all, the voices in all of our heads, as cringy, oh God, this is so cringe. It's true. The voices in all of our heads have just multiplied by quite a few now. So yeah, the song in mind was that song.
Right. I think it's really admirable that you're sharing that, because a lot of people do suffer, and you know what, a lot of people are really scared, and they don't want to be that vulnerable to talk about it, and they'll just sit in their own kind of suffering. So for you doing this, and especially for music, this is why I love music, like being able to have a listener feel something in what you have experienced, to allow them to think, you know, oh, I'm not on my own.
Absolutely and like we're all fighting the same battle. Like, it's just true. And like, some people have it worse than others, of course, but I think that's to go back to your question maybe about what makes a good song. It's like finding these issues that the majority of people suffer with, and making them into a melodic tune. Like, that's it. And anxiety and depression, it's just rife at the moment. Like, it's just everywhere. And so that's what you could expect for the whole project. Really, is there's a lot of, like, even the happy songs all touch on it. And because happiness is you can be anxious and happy, you can be depressed and happy, believe it or not. You can be all of these things, and like it's not even that it doesn't get spoken about enough. It does. Like, we are so way more open about all of these like issues than we were like a few years ago. And but this is it. This is what and then after this, I think I'll probably die down and make some more, make some pop songs. Like, I really do want to do that. But I think a whole project dedicated to fucking shit times is just like, I think it's a good idea, basically.
Do you think once that's completed, that would be kind of like, because that's that part of your life that you're putting into this project, and then it kind of is like that happened, that was the thing, and I've completed that, and do you feel like
absolutely, I very rarely get that with songs, and I think this is why the stuff that I'm working on now is I feel like, when people say their best work, I don't really understand that, because it doesn't really, I don't know what's my best work. It's not for me to decide. I don't think. I can tell you what the most personal work is, and it is definitely this. And like, maybe a weight will be lifted. Afterwards, but I don't know. And that's not the goal, for sure. And I will definitely write more. So, because again, mental health never, like, it's changing. It just changes all the fucking time. And that's like, there's some songs on there about that, about how like it just flicks. It's got a mind of its own. So who knows what will happen afterwards, but not out yet, not finished, but we'll get there.
Well, I'll look forward to listening to the rest. And
good. I'm happy that you are. Good.
And we're coming to the end, unfortunately. Whew.
There we are.
It goes so quickly, like. But,
it does.
But let us know. I mean, I'm going to put all the links in the description for everyone to go and follow you anyway. But just tell us where generally people can find your music.
Instagram is the main one, at Jonny Knowles Made Music. If you dare, follow me on TikTok, but I just can't. So you can, but I can't. So there you are. And then all music and whatnot. The Smile EP's out now. And just search Jonny Knowles Smile. It's on all of them, I believe.
Yeah, so. Awesome. Well, you can just go down below and just click, because I'll have them all.
Yeah.
Which is grand. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's all right.
Lovely having you.
Great to be here.
would like to. I ask everyone this question, so if you've been watching previous, you know anyway. But so just the last question: if you could give the people out there watching just one piece of advice about anything, what would it be?
I'll try and do it in one. There's a few things.
Yeah.
But number one, if you have access to making your own music, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's playing an instrument or making or like producing, just give it a go, because you will find that you develop your sound so much quicker than if you just go to a studio and record, because it's quite daunting. It's one thing that I've learned. I used to record all the time in studios and I just got so scared and the performance would suck. So if you can, make the music on your own. And then and this is so cliche, but it's so true, just be yourself. Because for many, many years, and I'm not an established artist or whatever, but I am an artist, many, many years just tried to be something else. And it wasn't that I was afraid of who I was, but I just tried. And it's so obvious. And I see it all the time. Everything from the way that people sing and the inflections that they have in their words. And it's very obvious when it's not you. So just be your fucking self. And that's it. And that's the truth. And there we are. Yeah, that's my advice.
Amazing.
For what it's worth.
I'm going to make t-shirts with that. Jonny Knowles says, be your fucking self. Much.
It's done.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you
self.
so much, Jonny, again, for being on the
Thank
show.
you for having me, honestly.
Being so honest and sharing your ideas and your music with us.
Thank you, honestly.
Right, everyone go follow Jonny. Go show him lots of love.
Thank you.
Take care, my darling.
All right, bye.
Oh, how amazing. He is a Gemini. Right, so go follow him. Go download his music. Go show some love and keep an eye out for that project when it comes out. I know I will be. Thank you again for being with us this week and watching another version of my show. Can't believe I have a show. Here we are. But I've got another quote for you today. So this says, the first step towards getting somewhere is to decide you're not going to stay where you are. So actually it goes well with what Jonny was saying there. You know, get out of your own way. Be yourself, but you've got to move to get to where you want to be. So don't stick where you are and stick in those same habits that you have. You've got to change things up a bit. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Big love and see you next week. Bye.